So today we're going to read Dandelion like I did a few weeks ago with the book. So to start out, I have some book bits to pass out to you. I want you to read them and share them with your neighbors. Try to read them and share them with the people around you. And then I'm going to ask you to read them out loud. Go ahead and read them. So Allison, do you want to read us yours first?
And with this, she closed her door right in poor Dandelion's face.
Very good, Dandelion's face. Cadence.
All you need now is a cap and cane.
All you need now is a cap and cane. Any predictions yet about what the story might be about? Austin?
Probably a bear.
A bear?
A bear.
A fair? Okay. Any other predictions? Devin?
Maybe a dandelion becomes a king or queen something.
King or queen? Trey, you have a prediction?
Never mind.
Okay. We'll come back. So Aiden, why don't you read us yours?
As soon as he washed and dried the breakfast dishes and made his bed nice and neat, he ran down the street to the barber shop.
He ran down the street to the barber shop. Does anyone know what a barber shop is? Mikey?
A barber shop is where you get your hair cut and you can get a design in your hair.
Yeah, that's a barber shop. Very good, where you can get your hair cut. Austin?
I think I got a prediction.
Okay, let's hear it.
He's probably going to get a new haircut and try to be like a real man.
Oh, like a real man. We'll have to read and see. Go ahead, Cadence, and read us yours.
It's nearly 3:30, said Dandelion. I've just got time to get something for my hostess.
For your hostess. Does anyone know what a hostess is? Dakota.
It's somebody that you use for on a TV show. And I think I might know what the story's about.
Okay, let's talk about what a hostess is first. Does anyone else have a prediction, Max?
A hostess is somebody who is somebody who gives you information.
It's a good prediction. Has anyone ever had a birthday party before? Or had hosted a party? That's kind of what a hostess is. If it's your birthday party, you're hosting the party and welcoming your guests, and you've made them food and cupcakes, and they come to your party. Something like that. Mikey?
I think I heard that just on a firefighter show.
Maybe. Haley, let's hear the last one.
Everyone at the party greeted him heartily.
Heartily. Everyone greeted him heartily. Any predictions after we've read the last book bit? Mikey?
I think God's going to get his hair cut, and there's going to be a TV show, and there's going to have a party because Dakota said what a hostess is.
Right.
Person on TV.
That was close, but remember we said about the hostess is someone that hosts a party. Mackenzie?
I think that's someone who hosts a party or something.
Like an event, right. Austin?
I think the one that's hosting the TV is the one that got the haircut.
Maybe. Well, let's start to read and find out. The book is Dandelion, and it's by Don Freeman. Wrote and illustrated the story. Dandelion. There he is again.
Whoa.
Looks like some crazy hair. Maybe that's why he went to the barber shop. Haley?
I think it's nice. Thank you.
A circus, that's a good prediction. So let's see. On a sunny Saturday morning, Dandelion woke up, stretched and yawned, and jumped out of bed. blinked his eyes, and said, "I wonder if the mail has come." He put on his sweater and went outside to the mailbox. There was a letter, and it was written in fancy gold ink. And Dandelion, I talked to him before, and he told me I could borrow his letter. And he let me borrow his letter, so we found the letter in the mail. So let's read it and see what it says. You can see the letter in fancy gold ink.
Did you write that?
Raise your hand.
It says, "Dear Dandelion, you are invited to my tea and taffy party, Saturday afternoon at 3:30. Come as you are. Sincerely, Jennifer Giraffe." So we said that he was invited to a party, so those predictions were right. Dakota?
Did you write that letter?
No, Dandelion gave it to me to show all of you today. Dandelion was very excited. "Why, that's today," he said. "It's a good thing I planned to get a haircut." That was a good prediction we made about the haircut. As soon as he had washed and dried the breakfast dishes and made his bed nice and neat, he ran down the street to the barber shop. Lou Kangaroo had a chair waiting for him. First he trimmed Dandelion's hair. Have you ever seen a line in your barber shop before?
I've seen the one that Jennifer Brown.
Okay, if you have something to say, you need to raise your hand.
Let's wait till the story's over.
And then gave him a shampoo. Dandelion thought he should have a manicure too. Pretty funny, a lion getting a manicure. One second, I'll answer your question about the story, Devin.
That's a lot of shampoo.
When Lou Kangaroo had finished, Dandelion looked a bit foolish. His mane was frizzy and fuzzy and completely unrulish. "Maybe a wave would help," Lou suggested, showing him a picture in the latest fashion magazine for lions. He's getting a new hairdo. Dandelion agreed. This was exactly what he needed. So Lou went about curling his mane. He looked magnificent, but now Dandelion thought he really should wear something more elegant than a sweater to the party. Can anyone tell me what the word elegant means? Kyle?
I think it means, it looks good.
Looks good. Anyone else? Dakota?
Well, maybe that he needs to change his clothes and probably get a tuxedo.
Something like a tuxedo. Haley?
He wants to look nice and white.
Good. Elegant. He's dressing up. Trey? Fancy. Very good. "This jacket is the very newest style," said Theodore the tailor, "and it just fits you. All you need now is a cap and cane. Happy Crane will be glad to help you." He looks all elegant in his new jacket. What a dapper dandy he had suddenly become. "It's nearly 3:30, said Dandelion. "I've just time to get something for my hostess." Now to the end of the story. What do you think he's going to get his hostess, Austin?
Birthday
A birthday cake or a present? Anyone other predictions? Gabe, do you have a prediction? What you might get his hostess?
I'll say money.
Maybe money, Madison?
A present.
A present, let's see. A bouquet of dandelions would be perfect. He knew this tall door very well, having been here many times before. Who lives behind the tall door? Trey? Giraffe. Jennifer Giraffe that wrote him the letter. He rang the bell. When Jennifer Giraffe opened the door, she looked very surprised. "Yes," she said, "what can I do for you?" Hold on to the end of the story. "Why, I've come to your party," he answered. "Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but you are not anyone I know," said Miss Giraffe. "You must have come to the wrong address." "What happened?" Mackenzie.
He looked confused. She didn't know who he was.
Right, she didn't recognize him.
With his hair.
He didn't look like himself. And with this, she closed the door right in poor Dandelion's face. "I'm Dandelion," he roared. "You've made a mighty mistake." But there was no use knocking. The door stayed tight shut. Dandelion began walking back and forth, up and down the long block he paced. As he paced, the sky grew dark. Then a sudden gust of wind sprang up and blew away his beautiful bouquet. His flowers are getting blown away. And his snappy cap flew off. To make matters worse, it began to rain in torrents. Dandelion dropped his cane and stood under a weeping willow tree. What's happening to his new hairdo, Mikey?
It's coming straight up.
It's coming straight again, and he lost his new cap. Mackenzie.
It's like that because it's raining.
It's raining out. But the rain poured down, and through the branches, Dandelion was soon soaking wet, and his curls came unfurled. He took off his jacket and hung it on a willow branch. Luckily, he had kept on his sweater. Does he look like the new Dandelion or the old Dandelion, like himself? Old Dandelion. At last the rain stopped and the warm sunshine came beaming down. Dandelion decided to sit on Jennifer Giraffe's front steps until his mane was dry. While he sat there waiting, he spied 3 dandelion flowers under the bottom step where they had been protected from the wind and the rain. He picked the dandelions and said, "I think I will try again." Do you think Jennifer Giraffe will let him in this time?
Yeah.
Why do you think so? Raise your hand and let me. Haley.
Because he don't look that fancy anymore.
Bryce.
Because he doesn't look fancy and he has his curly hair down.
Down. Does he look like the new elegant or himself? You can say it out loud.
Himself.
And he rang the bell. "Well, well, if it isn't our friend Dandelion at last," said Jennifer Giraffe. "We've been waiting for you for the past hour. I do hope you weren't caught in that awful cloudburst." Great prediction, guys. She let him in, she recognized him.
Because he wasn't so famous.
Dakota, go ahead and raise your hand. Everyone at the party greeted him heartily. Later on, when all his guests were enjoying tea and taffy, Jennifer Giraffe told Dandelion about the silly-looking lion who had come through the door earlier. Who was the silly-looking lion? Go ahead and say it out loud.
Dandelion.
Dandelion. She doesn't even know that it was him. Dandelion almost spilled his cup of tea as he reared back and laughed uproariously. "Oh, that was me. I was that silly-looking lion." Miss Giraffe was so flustered she got herself all tangled up in her long pearl necklace. "I do apologize for having closed the door on you," she said, blushing. "I promise never to do such a thing again." "And I promise you I will never again try to turn myself into a stylish dandy, said Dandelion as he sipped his tea. From now on, I'll always just be plain old me. Yes, Devin.
On the front of this book, he had his sweater is red and black, and that's what he didn't look like that in the story. He had his sweater was white and black.
You had a different sweater. Good observation. So you guys were talking about big ideas, Miss Sago told me. What do you think the big idea in this story might have been? Dakota?
Well, first he just wanted to be fancy because he thought that everybody else would dress fancy, and then he just tried to dress fancy. But then he figured out that if you do that, your friends won't recognize you. And I think I might know why he didn't recognize him.
Why?
Well, and in the story, he didn't have these shoes on.
Oh, maybe not. Aiden, do you have what the big idea might be in the story?
Just be yourself.
Just be yourself. Very good. That was what I was looking for.
I think that's a wow wall
That
name.
is definitely a wow wow. That was awesome. If Dandelion was trying to dress up and impress his friends and thought being fancy would impress them and they might like him more, but actually in reality, they just liked him for himself. Plain old Dandelion. He didn't have to get his hair done and get a new jacket and a cane and a cap. They liked him for who he was. Haley.
When he knocked him when he was fancy, and she asked him with all kinds of stuff, he should have said my name's Daniel.
He should have. I bet he was really surprised that she wouldn't let him in. And that's like when you're with your friends, they like you for who you are. You don't have to try and impress them and dress up. They're your friends just because the way you are, whether you like have these video games or these type of clothes. They like you just the way you are. Mackenzie?
If you're going somewhere fancy, well, your friends, then you have to go.
Then you can dress up. Yeah, but they don't like you just because you dress fancy, right? Dakota?
They like you for you, not your tuxedo.
Right, not your tuxedo. Do you wear a tuxedo with your friends? No? Devin? We'll come back to you, okay?
When he was at the door, he did say that I didn't tonight, but she was already in the other room. She couldn't hear him.
Right, she closed the door already. Gabe?
Well, I forgot what I was gonna say.
We'll come back. Raise your hand when you remember, okay? So do you think it's more important to be yourself or to try and impress people so they'll be your friends? Trey?
Be yourself.
Be yourself. Dustin, what do you think?
Be yourself.
Be yourself. Why do you think it's important to be yourself? Cadence.
Some people don't recognize you.
Some people don't recognize you. Anyone else? Jaden? Why do you think it's important to be yourself?
So people can recognize you.
Anyone else? Mikey?
So you have to keep, if you do something first, then you'll have to read. Then you'll have to, if you bring out, if you take toys out, you had to put them back. And if you get a haircut, you had to straighten it out.
Who remembers that word in health we've been talking about that kind of talks about being your own self? Do you remember, Austin?
Unique and special.
Unique and special, yeah.
Unique and special, right. And everyone has their own personality and their own characteristics about themselves. And that's what makes us unique. It makes us all different and makes us all able to be friends together because we all have different personalities and different characteristics, different hairdos, and we wear different clothes. So on this sheet, this is the big idea worksheet from the story. What you're going to do is answer the questions in complete sentences. So what do we need at the beginning of the sentence, Aiden?
So I was going to ask you.
What do you need at the beginning of the sentence?
Some qualities of a good friend are blah, blah, blah,
to read you the questions through, and then you can answer them, and we're going to listen to some of your answers. Number 1 is, what are some qualities of a good friend? Number 2, what should good friends do? So when you're hanging out with your friends, how should they act? Go ahead and write on your papers, and then when we're finished, we'll talk about it. Number 3, what shouldn't good friends do? When you're with your friends, what don't you want them to do, or how don't you want them to act? Number 4, in what ways am I a good friend? So I want you to tell me how you're a good friend, maybe something you did to help a friend out, or why you're a good friend to your friends. Austin.
I don't know what qualities mean.
Qualities mean something that they possess, something that they have, like good friends should be caring, they should be kind. That's what I would write down. How good friends are to you. Does that make sense? Does everyone understand that? Or do I need to go a little more in depth with that? Mikey, do you understand?
What's quality mean?
Did you just hear what I just said with Austin?
We need to be good listeners. Somebody just asked that and Miss Rathway answered it.
I'm going to say it one more time for qualities, so make sure you're listening. Qualities is something that they possess, like their characteristics or their personality, what you want a good friend to have. If you want them to be caring or kind or funny, those are qualities. Be able to, maybe a good friend for you is be able to play video games or ride a bike with you, things like that. So go ahead and write your answers down, and then we're going to go over them in a few minutes.
So if you want to reword it, the question is, what are some maybe things that you think a good friend should have? Important things a good friend should have.
Important things a good friend should have. Kyle.
I'll just ask you
Remember to start your sentence the correct way, and you are writing a sentence, you're not writing a word. Okay? Thank you, Gabe. Okay.
Good job.
All right.